Sometimes the simplest of jokes can end up being the most effective of humor, and the idea of, I think his name is Shining Savior here, the captain, who ends up holding our girl just like a princess in like a night tale, and how flustered she gets to then escalating it into her usual Kana energy where she's talking about her pinches will be double the pain with her pain amplifier. That was such a brilliantly directed joke, and just the fact that it wasn't a one-off gag, like he mistakenly gets convinced by his general kind of like soldiers that, oh yeah, we're actually in love and we're dating. It continues into the night, and just the fact that Kana goes from being super embarrassed about it to then actually kind of enjoying the teasing because it's being placed on the captain here was just absolutely fantastic, as you had probably one of the more enjoyable episodes of this show to date, because I love it when a show, either if it's based on a sort of video game or it's just a general fantasy show with quest mechanics, the idea of starting it off with a weird sound coming from a well turns out to be a lost mermaid, going into feast parties like we've seen with Kana, to them the kind of date misunderstanding, to then ending with a cliffhanger that another player seemingly is using some form of necromancy to summon zombies, and that zombie was enough to actually take out one of Kana's summons, which is the first time we've ever seen that. Now, granted, based on her reaction, I'm going to assume this kind of centaur is not actually dead, just because it didn't feel like a real heartbreak moment, but just more so of a, shit, I can't use him again, and that actually sucks that he's gone for now. If he's actually fully dead, I've gotta be honest, she has a poker face to kill for, because goddamn, she didn't look too phased other than the initial shock of seeing one of her powerful summons basically turn to ash. But still, like, this episode had a lot going for it, while also kind of being one of the more simple episodes on paper. You kick off the episode with that kind of very cute, very simple scenes where, the idea of like this little girl worrying about how Kana was never going to come back and she was going to start bad-mouthing her because she didn't. And then just like the numerous moments with her over this episode, because I think they have a really sweet dynamic, almost like a big sister, little sister vibe. And the idea that she's like, I'm a witch, don't worry, I can teleport anywhere, I can even fly in the sky. It's just absolutely wholesome. And then to not even see the drinking party, but continue with that ongoing gag, I'm never going to drink again. They just show us the morning after. We know what these parties look like. We know she drinks too much and she gets out of control. So I think it was a much more funny situation to just have it be, instead of showing the party once again, let's just show her that she never learns and she's always going to get hungover and she's always going to hate her life the morning after. But the next festival that comes around, she's going to be the first one doing a keg stand. And I love the idea that with this mermaid quest, because for her, most of what she sees in this is very much like, oh, this is how the game did it here, or it's just, maybe it's a bit different this time. Here, she was like, I don't ever recall having a quest like this, so that was actually brand new for her, and we get to see a new outfit, which actually was the main poster image. I'm not sure if it still is the main poster, but one of the key poster arts before the show kicked off was Kana swimming in this outfit. And I actually forgot about that just because for a while, I was like, oh man, that's one of the most beautiful posters that this anime season has going for it. And then to finally see her use it and how she swims faster and how people continue to respond in dumbfounded ways because she just randomly changes outfits and she has so many mechanics that they can't see activate, so they're just so confused. Where did it come from? How did this happen? And why are you wearing that? And then to get that scene with the mermaid and how she ultimately got randomly transported. There's so many cool things that can happen in this world, and the fact that it's just so easy to accept a mermaid can just be in a well, or there can just be zombies in these woods, right? This because it's based around this Leadale video game, right? So in doing so, you can do some crazy ass shit that MMOs generally love to do and love to play around with. Just this time it's now their reality, so it makes it a lot more frightening, or honestly sometimes awe-inspiring, because these are people at the end of the day, no longer just general NPCs, even though they did start out like that. And it was really cool just seeing them kind of bond over this episode and getting more tastes of what this world has to offer other than the general cities, the general political stuff, mermaid zombies. It does freshen it up quite a bit. But I will say the middle section was definitely my favorite with Shining Saber, because that was just such a great moment, and I do love how long it lasted. It wasn't just he picked her up and then she either bat him over the head or just kind of accepted it and rolled with it. People are thinking we're boyfriend, girlfriend, we're just going to have to accept it. No, they said we're going to keep this joke running. We're going to make it seem like old Shining Saber over here is going after widows and that's his type. And I just absolutely love just how it goes from her being so embarrassed to him just being like, guys, I am your leader, you have to respect me. Sure, whatever you say, Captain. The fact that he had such a lack of respect in that situation, it doesn't diminish his leadership. It's just more of those things of like very close friends who can poke fun at each other, but still have a level of mutual respect. You know, if they go in the battlefield, they're going to listen to his every command. But when they're sitting around the campfire, the fact that they can poke fun in that way, it shows a level of humanity you don't get to see in military-style leaders. And granted, since he's one of the players who is now a part of this, it makes total sense that he has that type of carefreeness going about him. But it was just great to see that, and then to just end with such a cool way of literally zombies. I mean, because the titles of these episodes, I think in a lot of ways you could say are spoilers, because they pretty much tell you the overall formation. It's like, okay, there's going to be mermaids, there's going to be zombies, something else. It's usually a phrase that represents something in the episode. And even though I was expecting zombies, it was cool to see how it was still unexpected, given the fact that we took out the centaur there. Like, that is something I wasn't expecting. I mean, once they started seeing the mist and how the mist almost had like a life-zapping force to it, but I was expecting her to just like get rid of him and summon a Cerberwolf or something. But instead, actually seeing it defeated, it actually does set in motion that even though she has like light magic seemingly that can just deal damage and take care of zombies, a player with a form of necromancy or zombie spells is a very dangerous thing if they're anything similar to what that one kid is. Because when you're playing a game, necromancy is one of the most fun magics in my opinion, blood magic, stuff like that. But if you were now placed in that game you were playing, that would be the least likely magic I would use because you know you're selling your soul to Satan if that then becomes reality. So I'm curious to see if it is actually a player, what their personality is like, because I'm expecting something twisted, but you never quite know with this show, right? I mean, for now, what are we on? Episode 9 here, right? We have 3 episodes left to go before hopefully eventually getting a season 2 down the line. And the fact that I don't feel like it needs to necessarily do anything particular when it wraps up. I don't need like a big plot twist about what happened to so-and-so character or where the story wants to go, because it really has established that this feels like a living and breathing world, and even though there is the air of mystery, especially with the time discrepancies on how different players got there at different particular times, to me this does just feel like first and foremost the general day-to-day life of what Kana is experiencing can be whatever the hell it wants. If it wants to go more mature, more serious, more dark, it can, but it can also be very wholesome fun, and that's why I don't think it has anything really to prove, and I don't need any sort of sequel bait or anything to make me feel satisfied. If they somehow manage to sprinkle in a giant cliffhanger and never resolve it with a season 2, well, that would be damn disappointing. But as it stands, I'm very much looking forward to the end, and really anything can happen, I think. Thoughts, feelings, though, on episode 9 of In the Land of Leadale, your favorite moment. What did you think of the ending of the episode? Because that was pretty crazy. Leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe if you're new around here. Until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.